Where do I like to shop? Oh, I mean, anywhere I go, really, I could find shopping potential. Well, that was an interesting process, because I started writing under my own name. And then it was when I had the idea for the first Shopaholic book that I realized I didn't want to just write a book about shopping. I wanted to start writing in a different style. I wanted to write comedy. I wanted it to be quite silly, quite confessional, quite intimate, write in the first person. And it just felt like a new voice. So I thought, well, I'll take a pen name. Also, I didn't know it would be a success. I had no idea. So I thought, well, you know what? If it's a complete flop, then I can go, God, who's that? You know, what an idiot writing a book about shopping. Nothing to do with me. So it was like a little backstop for me. And I had no idea that Sophie would become such a huge deal. I get very confused about this myself because I juggle two names, I juggle different personalities. I think I am whatever I'm doing at the time. So, you know, I have quite a divide between author traveling the world, meeting readers, and that's very much Sophie Kinsella, and then being at home. I have 5 children, I'm a mother, and, you know, quite grounded, and it's very different. So then I mean, having 2 names is actually quite an advantage then. I can be a different person. But like anybody, you know, we're one person in the office and we're a completely different person at home, stuffing our face with chocolate. So there you go. Oh my goodness. Well, the thing about Christmas is everybody shops, don't they? I mean, you can't avoid shopping. So it's almost like gives you a reason. Well, I have to go shopping. You know, I have no choice. And then once you're there, the shops are even more seductive than they are the rest of the year. They're just begging you to join in, and it feels like it's part of the Christmas spirit. So I think everybody does get a bit seduced at Christmas time. I have my Becky moments, I would be fair to say. I think that I do overlap with her. When I write about the way she thinks when she's shopping, that comes straight out of my own head. And I think part of the dynamics between her and her husband are sort of quite similar to the dynamic between me and my husband. But I would say she goes like 1,000% further than I go, or anybody that I know in real life would go. And that's the joy of her, is that I can start with something which is relatable and recognizable, like, you know, you want to go shopping, or you want to buy somebody a Christmas present. You know, we've all been there, but she goes whoosh, further. And that's what's the fun of her. I'm always writing something. This is not an adventure for Becky, actually. So I'm writing a new standalone novel, which is super fun. I do. I would say that I'm quite challenged for time. So I listen to them as much as I can. Usually in the car, actually, is what I find a good place to listen to them. So I often will find myself listening to family audiobooks. You see, I have a big family, and when I'm in the car, I'm often with my children. So much as I would like to put on my own novel, I end up listening to quite a lot of children's books, but actually they're wonderful. It's a way that I have been sort of slightly forced back into listening to children's books, and I really, really enjoy them. And when I was a child, we did not have the same range of audiobooks for children, and so I'm finding myself being entertained by these amazing books with actors who can do voices and make things funny and just bring it to life. I think they're just geniuses, these actors who can interpret books in this way. I will say I did get my slight revenge on the family once, though. Last year we were doing a big old journey, and I said, right, we're going to listen to a book. And they were like, oh, you know, is it Roald Dahl? Is it Harry Potter? I said, no, it's Charles Dickens and it's called David Copperfield. And we're all listening to it. So we listened to that. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I thought, well, we've got a big, long journey. We can have a big, long book. And even my younger children, they didn't totally understand it, but they understood enough. So it was an amazing family experience, really. I always come back to Jane Austen. So, you know, my favourite Jane Austen changes, but Pride and Prejudice, Emma, one of those. Then I would say I'd have to pick an Agatha Christie, but I can't pick one Agatha Christie. I'm just going to say any Agatha Christie would be my favourite book. I read them over and over, and lucky for me, I have complete amnesia. So I've always forgotten who did it, which is great. At least I feel like, well, I know it's one of three. It's like, it's either that guy, or it's the butler, or it's that cousin. And I'm sort of whipping over and I'm thinking, well, I know it's one of you. And then usually I'm completely wrong. That's why she's such a genius. I ought to try and think of something funny. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's one of the first books that made me absolutely laugh. Like, not just smile, but laugh. And I remember thinking, wow, a book can make you laugh. That's quite powerful. So, you know, that's a great favourite of mine.